welcome to Can Do Conversations. I am Cheryl Williams, the Can Do Mom.
I'm CJ Williams, the Can Do Dad.
Merry Christmas!
Hope you're having an awesome day.
Yes, we are so excited that you chose to join us today.
And check us out.
Even if you're listening and it's not Christmas, hey, Merry Christmas to you too.
Yes.
It's all about, thankfulness, gratefulness, cheer, love, compassion. And so I think we can use that all year round. So no matter when you're listening to this, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day to join us.
We appreciate it very much.
We record these a few days early. And so while you're listening to this, we will be hopefully not snug in our beds, but we'll probably be up.
Yes.
And with the kids, because they get up bright and early.
They're up.
They're ready to
running
roll.
around.
And so opening presents and just spending time, in all of our presents. Spelled differently.
Yes.
See what I did there? Yes. But that brings up today's conversation. And it really is about, we throughout the holiday season, we're always running around and giving gifts and thinking about, how can we, give something to others, and is this going to be meaningful to them, and what do they want, and lists and the whole thing, right? And yet, today we want you to think about what is the gift you're giving to yourself, right? Because today is going to come and today is going to go, and it seems like we can look back and it was just a few days ago that we had Christmas last year, even though it's been 365 days, and time is moving,
it's
right?
Flying by.
And so the question is, what is the gift that you're giving to yourself? And what we mean by that is, are you looking at everybody else and giving to everybody else, but you're never really going inward and giving anything to yourself? Rather, the gift of time, or the gift of an experience, or the gift of keeping a commitment that you said you're going to do. Or
you're number one.
Right. And so while you're giving all the time to others, your money and your energy and your thoughts and
insights,
especially as parents, we're constantly thinking of, our children or other things that are going on. And yet
usually you're last.
And so we want you to work on putting yourself first. We want you to give yourself the gift of what you said you're going to do, but also give yourself the gift of time, and give yourself the gift of
getting that energy back,
reflection, and giving yourself the gift of energy and love and kindness to yourself by doing things that are serving you, the things that are going to fill your cup, the things that are going to help you, and things that are going to, change and shift, so you can look back next year and say, wow, that was the moment that I gave myself that gift.
Yes.
And I've continued to give myself that gift throughout the whole year. And that's why I am where I am now. And that's why I've changed so much, because you are keeping the commitments that you made yourself. You are saying you're going to do something and following through. You don't just kind of do it at the beginning of the year and then fall off track. You are taking the time to read or to meditate or to pray. You are taking the time to, work out and, get those
and look good
and work on, getting yourself in the shape that you want to be in, and working on eating better. And then of course that instills it in your family as well. Also, working on relationships that are around you, getting rid of things and people that are no longer serving you, and letting go of those, and giving yourself the gift of having, more freedom in your bank account to be able to do more of the things that you want to do. And so whether that's, building up a business, or, maybe getting a different job, or, looking at all areas and aspects of your life to create the life that you're wanting to live, and giving yourself that gift.
And waking up thinking, I'm going to take care of myself today, and thinking that way every day of the little things that you're going to do as soon as you wake, and having the routines and the steps of taking care of yourself, and then knowing that you're going to do something special for yourself each and every day.
And because and a lot of people are, well, that's selfish. I'm a parent. I don't have time for that. And it's like,
That's
no.
cool.
The only way that you can give your best self to others, for your spouse or for your children or for the around you, is by taking care of yourself first. If you're at the end of the list, you don't ever get what you need. And so you're never giving the other people around you
empty.
What they deserve either. And so by you starting with yourself each and every day, you're filling your cup. You're taking care of yourself.
Yes.
So then you can go out and be all things to all people, right?
Yes.
And you
the
can.
energy level will be up. You'll be excited. You'll love life, and you'll love people.
Mm-hmm. And you'll start looking at your relationships a little bit differently as well. Instead of saying, oh gosh, I got to do this, or you have more energy. You have a different different viewpoint, a different perspective. You are doing things for you. And so you're not, under your breath saying, yeah, I never have time for myself, or, hey, why do I have to do this? Because you're making different choices, which are giving you a different result, right? If you continue to do the same thing and expect a different result, it's not going to happen. You have to change in order for things to change. And so the gift that we want you to give yourself this year is the gift of change, the gift of commitment, the gift of honesty for yourself. And so you can look inward and say, okay, what am I doing? Am I happy with my life? Can I do more? Am I just kind of getting by? Am I, making excuses, or am I getting results? Am I doing all that I can do, or could I do a little bit more?
It's going to take strength for you to do all those things. It's going to take courage, and have the courage knowing that it's okay. For you saying it's okay to feel that way. You're not being selfish. It's just taking care of you.
And instead, it's just flipping it. Instead of you putting yourself on the back burner, you're putting yourself in first position. Instead of you taking care of everyone else and maybe having a little time for you here or there, it's like, no, you always have time for you because you put yourself at the front. You get up in the morning and you're working on you. You start the day and you're working on you. And so flipping, just flipping that can make a huge shift. And then it's like you actually have more time throughout your day. You are kinder to those you come in. You are, nicer to your spouse. You are able to, do more things with your kids because you have more energy, because you have more, momentum with
and
you.
Happiness.
You're overall, you're just happy. You're kinder. You're nicer to be around because you are flipping that and giving yourself that gift.
That is beautiful.
And it really is. It's very simple, and people like to overcomplicate it, and it's not complicated. You have to change your actions to change the result that you want to get.
But you have to work on it every day. This is not the beginning of the week only. No, this is an everyday process, so you can keep that momentum going, and it'll be an automatic reaction as soon as you wake.
And it's not always convenient either, right? Sometimes it's convenient just to go back into the way things used to be, or go back into the way of, I don't really have the time, or someone else needs me more, right? It's like, no, you need yourself. And for you to give your best to them, you have to be your best. And the only way that you can be your best is by doing what you need to be doing to take care of yourself. And so looking at the excuses that you make as to why you're not able to do something, let those go, right? Push those to the side, bury those, and focus on why you are doing it.
Bury them deep.
Yeah. And so that's what we see a lot when we're talking to people is excuses. It's also patterns and habits. It's
hard to break.
It's easier to just continue going the way things are. Yeah. To change or to create a different life or to create different habits, you have to go against the grain. You have to go against what you've been doing. And in the beginning, that feels difficult. That feels
it's going to be hard at first.
It feels challenging.
It's going to be hard.
And yet the more that you're doing that, the more it starts feeling right. The more it seems like it fits a little better. It doesn't, it's not so cumbersome. It's not so hard to start doing those things because you are stacking those wins. You are getting that momentum.
Right. And then you're going to be a little mad at yourself that you haven't done it earlier.
It's like, darn it, why did I fall off track so much?
Yeah, why am I at the bottom of the bunch right here instead of I should have been there up top to begin with?
And yet this is not time to get down on yourself. It's time to say, okay, you know what? So what
New
now?
beginning.
What? Here I am, right? Not that I could have done this 5 years ago, last month, last year. You're here. So you have to focus on what you have. And yet you do kind of look back and say, okay, why have I made this harder on myself for so long when I could have just shifted some things and changed some things?
You kicked yourself in the butt.
And given myself that gift.
Yes.
Because then you are a better parent. You are a better spouse. You are a better friend. You are a better business owner. You are a better colleague. You are a better fill in the blank. You're better in all of those things because you're taking care of yourself. And that really is the gift that we want you to bestow upon yourself this year, is the gift of taking care of you, the gift of putting yourself first, the gift of challenging yourself to do something different.
And knowing you're special. Looking in the mirror and say you're special. And I love you. Love yourself. Please.
You're
love
special.
Yourself.
You're unique. You are a gift from God. You're here for a reason. You have a light to shine.
Spread that light.
You have a message to share. You have, love and kindness to give. And when
people that love you.
And when you keep putting yourself, you get smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're not living up to your full potential.
No.
And you're not shining your light, and you're not taking care of yourself, which means you're not helping those around you, your children, your spouse, your friends and family. And so when you let go of all that and you open it all up and you create a new story, you turn a new page.
Yes.
This is a new chapter in your life, and you start saying, I am worth it.
Yeah,
I do love myself. I can do this.
Yes.
You start changing those
The
programs
mind frame.
that you have going on in your head, and you start going after what you really want. You're going to start going leaps and bounds ahead of where you are, because I can do this. Okay,
Yep.
I've done this. Now I'm going to do that. And so you start shining that light. You start getting that message. You start saying what you want to say. You start doing what you want to do. All from these little things of giving yourself the gift to make those changes, to put yourself first, to know your value and what you have to give.
You're going to want more out of life. Since your light is shining bright, you're going to have bigger goals. You're going to want to take the steps that you would have never taken before and be proud of yourself for that. And remember, your goals are going to change also. The closer you get to them, the little pivots, they're going to change. So be happy with that also, now that you want to strive more.
And that you're pushing yourself, right? And you are getting out of your comfort zone, and you're doing things that you haven't done before, because you're going to get a different result. And so you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to get yourself into that unknown. And with that, fear can pop up, right? And fear doesn't mean stop. It just means pay attention.
Keep going.
It just means, hey, let's keep moving. This is something different. You haven't done it
new.
before. It's new. And so fear doesn't mean stop. It just means, okay, acknowledge it and keep moving, right? And that means you're doing something different, because if fear is coming up, it's because it's the fear of the unknown, the fear of you haven't done this before. What's going to happen? Or what happens if I change and people don't like who I am? Or
don't worry about
what happens
people.
If my spouse doesn't get on board? Or what happens if people think I'm being selfish? Or what happens if I don't have time for all these other people? And guess what? Those are coulda, woulda, shoulda. Those are scenarios. But at the end of the day, you owe it to yourself to put yourself first, so that you can become a better spouse. You can become a better parent. You can become a better friend. You can get stronger. Your light can shine brighter.
They're going to want to know what you're doing.
And then they're going to start coming up to you and say, okay, what's going on with you?
I need some of this.
You're like, what juice you drinking, right? Because you're high on life at that point. You radiate different. You have a different vibration, a different energy amongst yourself, because you're doing different things. And so when you start seeing that, then you start putting your shoulders back. You start having that confidence. You start walking differently and talking differently, because you know you're doing things that you haven't done before, and you can feel the difference. Do you feel it right away? No, it takes some time, but it also takes commitment, because the time is the commitment that you're putting. And the more that you commit to yourself, the better you get, the stronger you get, the brighter you shine. And so give yourself that gift. Look in the mirror. Open a box if you need to.
Be proud of yourself.
What's in this gift for me? What are you opening for yourself? And what are you going to release and let out? And who are you going to become? And how are you going to get there? This is the gift that you need to give yourself, of sitting down and getting quiet and getting clear and figuring out who you are and what you want and who you need to become and how are you going to get there and what do you need to do differently, and how are you going to change and shift what you're doing right now, and how are you going to let go of those excuses to become the person that you know that you can become. And now is the time.
And ask yourself, what do you want? Figure that out. It might take a lot of time, but just take the time to figure it out, so you can have a better understanding of where you are in life and where you want to head forward.
And sometimes you got to start moving first to really figure out what you want, right? A lot of times you know what you don't want. Maybe you don't know what you want. So if you know what you don't want, move further away from that, be on the path, and then you'll start getting clearer on what you do want, right? A lot of times it's easier to look at I don't like this, or I don't want that, but you have no clue what you do want. And so we need to start focusing on what you want. But if you already know that what you don't want, move away from that and get on the path and start moving, and then you'll start
Towards
saying,
the
okay,
things you
oh,
do
I like this, or oh, I want more of
Yes.
this, or well, and so don't stop and do nothing because you don't know exactly what you want, right? By
Right.
being in action and moving and getting that momentum, you're just going to start getting clearer
Put your foot on the gas.
on what you want and who you are and where you're going.
Yes.
And
Put your foot on the gas.
and that is a gift in of itself. Most people don't look in the mirror and ask themselves these questions,
No.
so they don't ever get the answer.
No.
And the answer doesn't always come.
They're like, I'm just going to stay where I am, no
Yep.
matter how they feel in life.
This is what I know. This is who I am.
Right.
This feels, I don't
This
want
is
to rock the
what
boat.
my parents did.
This is comfortable. You know,
Yes.
this is where I'm going to stay. And
I
so,
lived in this area forever.
right. So you're going to stay in that comfort zone, that comfort blanket, and you're
Yes.
never going to expand out of that and rock the boat and get a little uneasy and get uncomfortable and maybe have some butterflies and still do it anyways, right?
Yep.
And that
Jump.
is the blessing in asking yourself questions. That is the blessing in getting uncomfortable
Yes,
and
and
doing
moving
actions
forward.
that you haven't done before, because then you don't know what you don't know. And how do
Yes,
you know?
gonna be
when
a
you haven't
learning
done it?
curve.
So you got to learn, you got to grow and expand. And when you start seeing these things laid out in front of you, then you can kind of like pick like a buffet and say, okay, I want this, I want a little more of that, hey, I want to put that. And so then your gift that you're giving yourself is all of these things. It's not just one thing.
Right.
It's like Pandora's box.
Correct.
It just opens itself for you. Right? It just keeps coming and growing. And because you have different
Yep.
perspectives, you're going to get a
Yep.
different result.
And start expanding even more.
So give yourself this gift of getting to know yourself, of
Joy.
asking yourself these questions, of figuring out who you are and what you want and where you're going, and give it some time, right? And don't
Yeah,
just
it's not going to happen in an instant.
and yet don't just sit around and do nothing while you're looking for the answers
Yes.
either. Be in action, get momentum behind you, get moving, and those answers are going to start
Just
flowing
keep
to you.
going. Don't stop.
And this is the gift that we want to bestow upon you this holiday
sure.
season. So, embrace it, accept it, open it, experience
Have
it.
fun.
It really is an experience, something to have fun, something to, gravitate
To like and
towards.
love.
And this is a gift that keeps on giving. It's something that
Every
you get
day.
to instill in yourself, and you get to keep opening it each and every day. So give
Wonderful.
yourself this gift, accept it, say thank you for it,
And you're
be
beautiful.
grateful for that. And we appreciate you spending your
Yes,
precious
thank you
time
so
with
much.
us. And
Have an awesome Christmas.
give yourself that gift this Christmas, and you'll look back next year and say, why didn't I give myself that gift a little sooner?
Yeah, you are loved.
All right, guys, we love you. Thank you so much. And remember, we can do it,
And so
and so
can
can
you.
you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.